Hello and welcome to Ask Your Academic. Today's session will cover the MSc MedSci Medical Genetics, and we're joined by some of our programme team to answer any questions you have about the programme. So please do use the chat box to ask any questions, and we've got a list of questions that have been submitted beforehand too. We are recording the session, so please don't panic if you miss anything. We will share the recording shortly after for you to watch in your own time. So I'll pass yourself, Leah, to just introduce yourselves and a quick overview of the programme, if that's okay.
Okay, great. Yeah, so hi there. Nice to see you. My name is Leah Martin, as you can see, and I am one of the programme leads on the Medical Genetics MSc. I have actually been working on the programme now for 20 years. So I hope that we can answer your questions. If you've got them, if we can't, there's something wrong. So yeah, pass over to Kirsten.
And my name's Kirsten Mackay-Boundford, and I'm also one of the programme directors. And I haven't got that as many years under my belt. I've got 3 years under my belt. But yeah, we've been working together now on this for the last couple of years.
Before working on this, Kirsten was a senior scientist in the NHS for a long while, which is what a lot of our students are aiming to be. So she can answer any questions about that students might have about working in the NHS after the programme. So you want just a short overview of the programme? Yeah, so it's basically a 1 year top programme. We have quite a sort of community programme feel to it because we're based over at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital for most of the programme. We typically have between 30 and 50 students a year from all over the world. We start off with a big 60 credit course where you do loads and loads about basis of genetic disease. You have some labs, working groups and teamwork, and then that lasts up till Christmas. And then after Christmas, the break, students, we have a various sort of optional modules that students can choose from, as well as a few more short courses that we do. And then in May, from May till August, students complete a dissertation, either lab-based or data-based, and that's the final 60 credits of the programme. So the programme has been running since 1984. And we've got a big alumni network all over the world. So we've got a lot of contacts that students make use of. Is there anything else you want to add to
that? I think that seems good.
Fab. In terms of the labs, what kind of skills and practical work do the students get to take part in?
Yeah, so in our introductory module, we just cover some lab basics. So they do things like setting up a PCR, running a gel, data quantification, things like that. And then one of the short courses that we run about this time of the year, actually, the students design some primers and use those primers to test some samples. And that's really good because it's develops a lot of independence, so that the students come into the lab and do the work when they have time to do it. So it's kind of student-led. Yes, all right. And then those are the only compulsory lab skills. But then quite a lot of the students will choose to do lab projects for their dissertation, and there's a broad range of things depending on which projects they choose.
Ah, nice. And just on that, the research project is such a big part of an MSc. Can you tell us a bit about the process? So how do students go about deciding a topic, finding a supervisor?
Yeah, that's a big one that often students want to know about. So I run the dissertation part of the programme, so that course. So what we do is just about a month from now, all the programmes within our cluster, so there's quite a few MSc programmes that are quite similar in nature. We have all got together previously in the year with a lot of researchers from the University of Glasgow, and we have a big list of normally several hundred projects that are available for students. All of the students in our cluster get this list about the same time. They look at the list and they decide what their top 6 normally are that they want to undertake. They also provide keywords. So, for example, if they're interested in cancer, they'll have maybe cancer as a keyword, or if they're interested in gene editing, they'll have that as a keyword. What happens then is all the students' choices go into the mix, and we, as a group of programmes, try and allocate as many students as possible to their top 6. And if it's not possible to allocate everybody to their top 6 programme, we use the keywords to allocate projects. And I have to say, almost all students get something that they're certainly this year they almost all got something, I think, in their top 6, and everybody got something they were really happy with, even if it wasn't their first choice. You either do a lab-based project, or you do something with maybe big data, or you do a systematic style review. So there's this sort of the 3 types of projects, and also Kirsten runs projects, which you can maybe talk a wee bit about in relation to NHS audit and lab-based projects.
Yeah, so we have good connections with our local NHS genetics department, and usually there are a small number of projects working with them in their department, doing some kind of piece of work that those NHS people don't get the time to do. So auditing their data or doing a bit of troubleshooting with an assay or something like that. So those are usually quite popular with the students, and just gives a really great experience for someone who's interested in that line of work in future, because they can put it on their CV that they've worked in a department, and you kind of see a lot of the processes that are involved in teamwork and like things like patient confidentiality. So it's a really useful experience for those students that are interested in that.
And they're specific to our MSc.
Yeah.
It's only our MSc students that do those ones.
Oh, that's really nice. It's nice that it's like real life projects linked to actual research, and it's not just like a made up scenario, isn't it? Which is quite nice to get involved in. And I think students are often surprised, I think, going from undergraduate to postgraduate study. It's quite different, isn't it? So can you touch a bit more on that? So how much study in terms of class time is there versus out with the class? Because there's a lot of self-learning, isn't there?
It does vary quite a lot through the year, doesn't it? So initially when students come in our programme, I guess we try to ease students in gently from maybe what they've been used to in undergraduate. So normally in semester 1, they have couple of days where they're in pretty much the whole day for sessions, don't they? And then they also have a problem-based learning group that they're part of, and they have a scenario that they'll brainstorm with a group and then go away and investigate. And also in semester 1 probably have, say, maybe half a day of labs during the week. So that's semester 1.
Yeah, we try and always have at least 1 day a week that's free. And then usually they have another day a week that's free as well, because the labs don't run every week. So they'll have 1 week, then they're in, the next week they're not in, kind of thing. So, but usually no more than 3 days a week of teaching stuff.
So there is quite a lot of time for consolidation, because there's a lot of new concepts, obviously consolidation, reading on their own.
And that's the first semester. But then after Christmas, there's a lot more space in the timetable, isn't there? It's meant to be more self-led at that point.
Yeah, because they're doing case investigation studies within a group. They're preparing a poster for presentation. They're working in the lab on their SNP assays. Again, self-led. So yeah, it's much more self-directed. So it's quite a good balance, I think.
Yeah, and it's nice that you've got that semester 1 just to kind of adjust and find your feet a little before semester 2 you're kind of on your own a bit more. In terms of the assessments, I think you touched on some there, but what kind of assessments can students expect?
Semester 1.
So in semester 1 we have some written assessments, but they're not just straight like essays. We have a data analysis component to them. So students are given some data to analyse, and then they explain that in the report and add some like literature stuff in there as well. We have a few of those, and those kind of build up in complexity through the term. And then we have also some group work that they do in their PBLs, and from that the students produce a group report. That's all for semester 1. Semester 2 we have a bit more variety. So they have they obviously have their lab work, so they do like more like a lab report style. They do a poster. They also do another group investigative report, and they also do a presentation.
We have an exam in April, a class exam in April.
Exams, but they are they're mostly in the springtime.
And it's all problem-solving exams
Yeah.
as well. It's not essay-based exams. It's all case-based. It's all relating to medical situations that patients would find themselves in, to try and kind of replicate real life, or I guess what students would face. Oral presentations for their dissertation, actually.
Nice. It's a nice mix, isn't it? That if you're maybe not so great at one, that's not all that you've got to do.
Yeah.
And in terms of career prospects, what do students typically go on to do?
It's quite a mix, actually. We look back over data quite often to see where our students have gone, and a lot of students keep in touch. A lot of students come with the aim of working in the NHS eventually as a clinical scientist. We do have a few students normally every year will go into that route, but a lot of our students, clinical scientists is very, very competitive to get into the training programme. So a lot of students will start off as genetic technologists in the NHS and work their way up and apply for clinical scientist training possibly a few years quite often after working as a genetic technologist in the NHS. Always a few will, or a good number quite often, will go on to do PhDs. And work in industry. That's the other. And we've had quite a number of students. I get a lot of inquiries asking if the programme will qualify them to be a genetic counsellor, which it doesn't. It's not a genetic counselling programme. The only two ways in the UK into that are to do the scientist training programme in genetic counselling, or to do a further master's in Cardiff. But it gives a good grounding for people who want to enter the STP genetic counselling. We have had some students do that in the past, although again it's very competitive. And we've also had students do genetic counselling programmes abroad, or maybe go back to their home countries, for example, and work as a genetic counsellor in a situation where you don't need the specific requirements that you maybe do in the UK.
Oh, that's good. You just answered my next question, so that was good.
That's a very common question.
Yeah. Somebody actually asked, in terms of the material for classes, is that provided beforehand so that students can kind of read on it, or is that just during the class that they get that?
So the teaching materials?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have all of our materials on Moodle, which is, I guess, fairly common, which is an online platform. And the lectures are at least 24 hours in advance, but there's actually loads of other stuff on there as well, so you don't need to wait for the lecture. So we have a lot of extra resources, quizzes, videos, these are all really helpful to supplement the teaching, and tutorials as well, like you can test yourself and you can access them from when the course begins. So that's all available, yeah.
Perfect. And then one of the other questions we were asked, is there anything students can do to prepare for starting their MSc come September?
We do. We send out a link to students who are going to be joining. It's a basic background preparation course on Moodle that they can, once they've done their provisional enrolment, they can join, and they can complete that, and it gives a good background, a good kind of grounding. There's also a few MOOCs that we've produced on the Future Learn platform that we would recommend students take a look at. We're not expecting them to come with the full knowledge of these MOOCs at all, but I think it does give a nice kind of background introduction to what we do, what we're about. So they're probably the most kind of important things, I would say.
Ideal. I suppose getting here early as well, isn't it? So you're set up and ready to start when the course starts. That's actually all my questions covered. We've got a few people joined live, so if you do have any questions, please drop them into the chat box, and we can try and answer those. But I mean, we've covered a very lot in a very short space of time there. Is there anything that we've not mentioned that you'd like to mention just while we've got the last?
I would say we're quite a sociable programme. I think that's probably one of the things that makes us stand out. In that, again, because we're based in the hospital, we have a welcome lunch and things like that, but we also have some class outings. So we go bowling in semester one, we go on a class walk. If anybody wants to come, nobody's obliged to come. And we see the countryside. We have a class away day trip to Culzean Castle in May when the weather's a bit nicer as well. In past years we have had international lunches. We have a Christmas lunch as well. We've had international lunches. So yes, we're actually quite a sociable programme, to be honest, I think.
Yeah.
That's really nice, isn't it? Because there's loads going out with the MSCs themselves, but it's nice that you can spend a bit more time with your classmates rather than just studying as well.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that some of the projects are shared with other MSCs. Is that the same for a lot of the courses as well? Are they kind of joined up with other MSc programs?
We're actually, I think we're not quite unique in that, but we're certainly unusual in that most of our courses are specific to the MSc Genetics Genomics. There's one course where there is a number of options. Students just actually started that on Monday. At this point in February. Most choose the clinical genomics option,
the option to go
elsewhere, to other courses.
We run one at the same time.
But yeah, we don't share courses much with other programs. I think because traditionally we have had quite a big cohort and it's a very specific subject that it's which again I think does help make the program have quite a nice feel to it, that students all are together for almost all of the programs, so they get to know each other really well.
Yeah, that's really nice, isn't it? Because I know that some other MSCs, because they do share those optional courses, there's a bit of competition. Because they're obviously limited spaces. So that is really nice, and you're with the same group of people. Nice, and that's friendships for life as well, isn't it?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Well, we've not had any other questions come through, so I think that's probably a nice place to just wrap it up. That it's a very sociable programme, and there's lots of skills in that you'll learn to take forward into many different career opportunities that you'll have. Thanks very much to you both for taking time out of your day. I know how busy you all are. And thanks to those that are watching, and we hope to see you all come September time. So thank you.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks so much.